It's the end of the month. You open your banking app, look at your savings, and there it is. $1,400. You've been saving for almost half a year, skipping takeout, saying no to things, doing everything right. And that's all you have to show for it. So you do the math in your head. At this pace, it'll take you 3 more years just to hit 10 grand. 3 years. And for a second you think, why even bother? Now, here's what's strange. If you look at people who eventually built real wealth, almost all of them describe the same thing. The beginning felt impossibly slow, and then at some point everything sped up. That's not a coincidence. That's math. And most people quit before the math ever gets a chance to work. See, when it comes to your first $10,000, the advice out there falls into 2 camps. One camp says just be patient, keep saving. It'll happen eventually, which is technically true and completely useless. The other camp says forget saving, you need to take big risks. Find the next big thing, 10x your money. Which is how beginners lose the little they have. But there's a third path. A realistic way to get to your first $10,000 faster than you think without gambling anything. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through it step by step, including the one piece of math that changes how you see this entire journey. My name is Samuel, and this channel is about earning, keeping, and growing money in ways that actually work. If that's what you're into, hit subscribe and let's get into it. First, we need to talk about why the first $10,000 feels so brutal. Because once you understand this, everything else makes sense. When your net worth is small, your money earns you almost nothing. Let's say you have $1,000 invested and the market grows 8% this year. That's $80. $80 for an entire year. Your money basically isn't helping you yet. At this stage, every single dollar has to come from one place, the gap between what you earn and what you spend. You are the engine. There's no tailwind, no momentum, nothing working in the background. It's just you pushing. Now, compare that to someone with $100,000 invested. Same 8% year. They just made $8,000 without lifting a finger. That might be more than you managed to save all year while actively trying. And that right there is the trap. Beginners look at their $80 of growth, feel like the system doesn't work for people like them, and give up. But here's the part nobody tells you. The game isn't broken. You're just in the hardest level. The first $10,000 is almost pure effort. The next $10,000 is effort plus a little help. And every 10 grand after that, the help gets bigger and your effort matters less. So the goal of this video isn't just to get you to $10,000. It's to get you through the slowest part of your entire financial life as fast as possible. Let's break down how. Step 1. Know your real number. Not the 10,000, your monthly number. Take 10,000 and divide it by the number of months you're giving yourself. Let's say 24 months. That's $417 a month. All of a sudden, this stops being a dream and becomes a bill. A specific amount due every month that you either hit or you don't. And I know what you might be thinking. Samuel, if I had a spare $417 a month, I wouldn't be watching this video. Fair. Which is exactly why the next 2 steps are about creating that gap from both sides. Step 2. Attack your 3 biggest expenses and ignore the rest. Here's a mistake I see constantly. People trying to save their way to $10,000 $5 at a time. They cancel one subscription, feel guilty about every coffee, and burn all their willpower saving maybe $60 a month. Meanwhile, the big 3 sit untouched. Housing, transportation, and food. For most people, those 3 eat 60 to 70% of every paycheck. One decision at that level is worth 100 small ones. Getting a roommate for a year could be $400 a month. Trading a financed car for a paid-off used one could be $300. Cooking dinner just 5 nights a week instead of 2 could easily be $200. You don't need all of these. You need 1 or 2 for a limited time. This isn't your forever life. It's a 2-year sprint with an exit date, and knowing that makes it survivable. Step 3. Add income before you think you're ready. Cutting expenses has a floor. You can only cut so much, but income has no ceiling, and this is the side beginners neglect. And no, I don't mean start a business or learn to day trade. I mean the boring stuff that actually works. Ask for the raise you've been putting off. Job data has shown for years that people who switch employers tend to out-earn people who stay put. Pick up freelance hours with a skill you already have. Sell things you don't use. Here's the fun part. Extra income at this stage is turbocharged because your regular paycheck already covers your life. Every dollar from a side effort can go straight to the goal, untouched. Someone earning an extra $250 a month has covered more than half of that $417 target without cutting a single thing. Step 4. Make the transfer automatic and make it invisible. The day money hits your account, your target amount should leave automatically on payday before you see it. Because here's the uncomfortable truth about all of us. Willpower is a terrible saving strategy. If saving depends on you making a good decision 20 times a month, you'll lose eventually. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. Automation removes you from the equation. You can't spend what you never see. Set up the transfer once and your only job becomes not touching it. Step 5. Park the money where it works but stays boring. For your first 10 grand, keep it simple. The first few thousand goes into a high-yield savings account. That's your safety layer, your buffer against life. After that, start feeding a low-cost index fund. A little every month, nothing exotic. No picking stocks, no crypto moonshots, no strategies with names you'd have to Google. At this stage, your contributions matter about 10 times more than your returns. So chasing an extra few percent by taking big risks is trading something huge for something tiny. Boring is the strategy. Now, let me show you why all of this is worth it, because this is my favorite part. A friend of mine started exactly here. Negative, actually. About 2 grand in credit card debt, saving basically nothing. It took him just over 2 years of everything I described to reach his first $10,000. 2 long years. His second $10,000 took 14 months. Same habits, but now his money was contributing too. By the time he passed $50,000, his investments were adding thousands a year on their own. Money he never had to earn twice. The path from 0 to 10 took longer than the path from 30 to 50. Read that again. The hardest $10,000 you will ever build is the one you're building right now. It never gets harder than this. So here's the plan one more time. Turn $10,000 into a monthly number with a deadline. Make 1 or 2 big cuts instead of 50 tiny ones. Add income, even a little, because every extra dollar goes straight to the goal. Automate the transfer so willpower is never involved, and keep the money boring. Savings first, then simple index investing. Look, 3 years from now, you're going to be somewhere. That's guaranteed. The only question is whether you'll be starting from 0 again, or standing on top of the hardest money you've ever made, watching everything finally speed up. The people who win with money aren't smarter than you. They just kept pushing through the exact part where everyone else turns around. If this changed how you see your first $10,000, subscribe, because this channel is built for exactly this journey. And tell me in the comments, how far along are you? 0? Halfway? Already past it?